Hello everyone, it's Aliona. Today we have this hole in the nails and the final result will look like this. We're going to do a 3D design of fill on gel tips, and right now I'm removing the previous coating. I often get questions about how to do fills on gel tips. Honestly, usually you just remove all the old material, leave a thin base and do a new set. But here we ran into an interesting detail. The right index finger is the working finger, right? Exactly. So what happens there? Lifting. That's exactly what happened in this case. By the way, this is the nail client who was getting ready for vacation and the same client for whom we once did short nails. We gave her a French manicure, but after a while she called it a nightmare and wanted long nails instead. I said, just keep in mind, if we make them very long now, it's quite possible that something might go wrong because you're not used to them anymore and you might bump them somewhere. Actually, she bumped them more than once, and as you can see, there's even some lifting that appeared. I'm carefully removing it now. And now let's imagine together, what if I don't have any more gel tips and I don't have lower forms or upper ones either? Basically, the nail has to be saved no matter what. That's my idea for today, and I want to show you that it's possible too. That doesn't mean everyone has to do it this way, it's just one of the alternatives. Well, just in case you find yourself in a parallel universe and really have nothing to use to extend this nail. The hole is big enough and will get larger, but for now I'll focus on the cuticle. I've shown the number and name of the pusher, but just in case I'll also add some links. As always, I'm using metallic and the cuticle here is actually very easy to work with. Here you can do either a combination manicure or an e-file manicure. But since lately I've probably become more of a fan of scissors, especially the ones with a curved tip, that's what I'll be using. For now, I'm using a bit with a blunt tip. By the way, I highly recommend using this type of bit. For the initial pass, exactly because it doesn't have a sharp tip, so you won't be able to cut, injure the client, or file through the glued area by mistake. It works very gently and delicately. Next, I decided to do a bit of prep. Notice that I'm not pressing hard on the file, that's very important. I just lightly scratch the surface. The nails are moving, and at this moment I also noticed that there is still some lifting here, so I carefully try to remove it. In order to leave at least some kind of framework for my next steps, let me remind you I want to preserve what's left here of the nails. Well, basically the nail is barely holding on, but we will definitely save it, and it will definitely last. We're doing her nails for her vacation. I've already done one hand, I'll show it a bit, it's bright turquoise, and this one will be beige, but with elements that go well with the other hand. Now you can see how I went over it with a flame bit with a sharp tip. I worked on the hard to reach areas. And next is the promised cuticle trim. These are scissors from Nippon Nippers S04J. I've repeated their name so many times and you've asked about them so many times. I won't get tired, I'll keep telling you about these very convenient scissors. It's not a classic design, but rather a curved tip that fits perfectly into the sidewalls, allowing you not to cut the client and making it very comfortable to go around the cuticle area. Here I deliberately didn't cut anything out, didn't speed it up, I'm showing the trim just as it is. Because I know that on the internet, with all the editing magic, I do it myself sometimes, since there are only a few seconds in a short video, very often things online look just like this. Everything is ready and it's like there's a perfect cuticle trim right away. That's not true. And really, to get a nice cuticle trim and a clean cuticle, you have to take certain steps. And after making such a cut, we definitely need to buff it. Yes, I know there are options for wet cuticle trimming. I can do that too, but I don't really like it. Still, I prefer the standard good old classic combined manicure that everyone loves. So here, we'll finish up with our cut. There are just a few little pieces left, and yes, it's a bit uncomfortable to turn my hand for the camera. And now the polishing bit. Notice that my polishing bit is already a bit worn out, its tip has become dull. But with the help of the nail file, the same one I used to file nails, and a low speed on the machine, I have it set to about 35,000 RPM right now, I can sharpen my polishing bit. Of course, that's if yours is the same. If it's made of a different material, I can't guarantee anything. But our standard polishing bits, what are they called? Silicon carbide, biotech ones, they sharpen perfectly and now I can reach all the hard to access areas. The important thing is not to buff the nail plate itself, because then we'll get lifting there. So the nails are prepared, I have degreased everything. I use nail prep for degreasing, I have it in a spray. This is a very handy thing from Domex, I use it often. And now let's take a look at our poor nail that needs to be restored. You see, it's literally fluttering in the wind. Honestly, in my right mind, I wouldn't restore something like this, but I got curious and wanted to try out some new products. Here I have Nano Professional. And first we'll take the primer, we apply it as usual. I'll also put some on the free edge. Next comes the base coat. This is what we'll use as the foundation. It's a standard base that will definitely hold, and that's already been tested. I've already done nails with these materials. Just yesterday I removed them late at night. I didn't film it since they had already grown out quite a bit after a month and a half. I didn't want to embarrass myself by showing that. But it's amazing that even on her rather problematic nails, which are always curving and constantly lifting at the cuticle, there were no lifts this time. I actually regretted not filming it afterwards, but it was already too late. So let's take the kit. I have a kit here called Help for Nail Repair. I've shown it before. There are 4 products in the kit. 3 of them are in little jars or bottles. So one is beige, one is a natural color, and one is clear, which is the one I'll be using today. And there's also a fiber that you can use for reinforcement if needed, but today I've chosen this one. It's a clear gel with a slightly pinkish tint. I'll explain what you can do with it. It's actually very simple. I already have a base layer here. And just like this, with one light movement of my hand, I restore the missing area of the nail plate, so to speak. I'll gently feather it out with the brush, spreading it a little in different directions, and that's it. No forms, no templates. You can also build up the corner this way. Almost nothing leaked out on the underside, but just in case, I fixed everything with the brush and checked it. So for those who need it, make sure to take a screenshot. This thing is really good. It doesn't use much product, but sometimes it can be really useful to build something up or restore it. Next we have gel here. I tapped it because I couldn't tell if it was glass. Let me know if you have one like this. It seemed to me that it's actually not glass, but some kind of super cool plastic, but it really looks just like glass, or maybe I'm mistaken. Anyway, let me know in the comments. And also, let me know if any of you, like me, always collect the gel from this film. I don't know why I do it, I just feel bad throwing it away. And I've always scraped off this gel my whole life. I did it again today. So, the gel. We'll also be using the one from Nano, as I mentioned. I'm reviewing it. I've actually liked their products for a really long time, and now the big moment has finally arrived. I have it in my kit, and that's just wonderful. I've already applied primer to all the nails. Next, I take this base, which says Build Cotton or Cotton. I'm not sure how to pronounce it correctly, but the most important thing is that it holds. It doesn't matter what it's called. The main thing is that it works. What can I say? The brush is of moderate length, moderately flexible and moderately firm, so it's just average, exactly what you need. I left this on purpose to show how I apply the base layer. It's not one motion, I spread it carefully. And next is the gel itself. I think it's just the perfect beige shade, but I want to show how great the consistency is. It's not thick, not runny. Well, it's just a product that levels out quickly. I took a brush. Mine is oval and synthetic. I think I actually prefer oval brushes. I've been thinking about it a lot. Which brushes do I like? I often try different ones. This brush is from the brand Iris K. I bought it at an exhibition, and I've been testing it out for a few weeks now. Basically, I like everything about it. The second one is also from Iris K, but look, while we were chatting about brushes, the gel has already spread out and settled on its own. Basically, I didn't even have to do anything. I think that's awesome, although I'm not even surprised, because I didn't expect anything else from Nano. This is truly a product for professionals. They've been on the market for 1,000,000 years, I think. They're total veterans in the industry. And honestly, I've never heard anything bad about Nano at all. Write your reviews in the comments too, both bad and good ones. Write different ones. Let's discuss, why not? I definitely give these products a thumbs up. Look, it squeezes out perfectly too. Oh, and of course, all those people who say my nails are crooked, you should go to the comments too. You can chat about it there. My nails aren't crooked, they're just regular like a client's. This is a fill-on gel tips. I left a few more nails so you could really appreciate how the gel is applied. Well, it's just great, it's nice. And even though I did this work, I edited this work, and now I'm watching it with you while recording the voiceover, I can say that I don't get tired of it. The color is just amazing, and when I was applying the color, I wanted to say that it has a very interesting color story. Because it looks full coverage, but at the same time it still feels light, like something airy, like some kind of airy, pleasant, delicious souffle. And of course, that really attracts me. I love colors like this. I adore it when they're just a little bit translucent. But I know that among you there are those who constantly ask, so what? What should you do if it looks a little sheer near the cuticle and on the sides? That's why I've prepared a solution for you today. And here we return to our finger, which I previously fixed and repaired. I filed it a little to restore more or less some shape. And now I've degreased it and I'm covering it with base again. I do this so that the gel doesn't lift. This is very important. You absolutely have to do this when you're working with gel tips. Always cover them with base before applying the gel. That way, everything will definitely be fine. Next, everything goes according to the same plan. That is, we apply the gel and spread it easily and effortlessly. And while I'm finishing up with this nail, I want to say something about the solution. Basically, it's about the whole showing through issue, what to tell clients and how to deal with it in general. But we can't apply a thick layer of gel on the sides and near the cuticle. So as I'm showing here, it will still be a little see-through. That doesn't bother me. In everyday life, it's actually not noticeable. For example, my nails have already grown out. Right now I also have semi-transparent gel on my nails, and nothing bad has happened. And people haven't pointed at me or said, oh wow, her gel is showing through. But if it does bother you or your clients, you can just use a colored camouflage top coat. Of course, I was honestly sorry to cover up this beautiful shade with a top coat, but I have two beige top coats. One is a bit more pink, the other is a bit more beige. They're from the brand Emen. And I know these are very popular items, you can hardly find them anywhere, so if you do find them, be sure to get them for yourself. They don't change the shade of the gel, but at the same time they work kind of like a foundation or maybe a BB or CC cream, so it's pretty sheer too, it's semi-transparent. But this kind of top coat can slightly camouflage anything that might concern you or your clients. I apply it in the usual way, that is, I use a brush to spread it in a thin layer at first. I try to cover everything. It's important to make sure there are no areas that we missed. And then I add a small drop, letting it spread and distribute itself over the nails. And we get this beautiful result, but we didn't stop there. Let me remind you, the nails are for the beach and the other hand is bright turquoise. So we decided to try on these, well, I can't even call them stones. I think there's something made from shells and epoxy. But in my opinion, they actually look pretty good. Yes, the other hand is the one with the bumps, the one that everyone I won't even say what they were saying about it. Well, basically some said pimples, some said warts or something else. But we thought the idea was quite interesting. Karima approved these stones. She said, let's go ahead and make them. So now let's talk about how to create this kind of decor. I attached this kind of decor to the same Nano base that I used as the foundation. A little tip, cure it slightly, like I do with a flashlight, so that when the client moves their hand to the lamp, nothing shifts out of place. My lamp is on a stand. It's a small flashlight, it's from the Emenco brand. I'll leave a link for it somewhere here as well, or in Telegram. By the way, make sure to join my Telegram channel, all the links are always there. It's hard to share these links on other social networks since YouTube and other platforms often block them. So we flash cured all of that, then we cured it in the lamp, and next I take the top coat. I apply the top coat directly onto the decorative element itself. The top coat I used was also from Nano, and I go a little bit beyond its edges. That is, I do it in such a way that nothing catches anywhere. And I can definitely tell you that this decor will wear just fine. Well, of course, unless the hotel's all-inclusive gets a little too wild. And cream doesn't go too hard on vacation either, but honestly, that's not a problem. We'll just make new ones. So this is the result we got. Write in the comments whether you like it or not. I can say right away that I liked it. Cream did too. So whatever you write, we won't file these nails down or remove them. We'll keep them until the very end of the vacation. I wish Cream a great vacation. And this has been Aliona. Thank you all so much for watching. Bye bye.